Hello, everyone. Today I am joined by my father, sporting a new hairstyle.
I thought this is how they do it. This isn't.
No, that's great.
I feel like it's good, but I also feel like I'm like a killer whale that's been in captivity. Everything kind of fell over, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it worked, but I probably can't pull it off. I don't know if there's a decade where you can't pull it off anymore. Like maybe your 20s are cool, 30s, you got into there, 40s. I'm almost 40. So I've got a year left to pull it off. So that's what I got to do.
This works.
It's got to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, let's get to it.
All right. So today we're going to be checking out another song by the band Theocracy called Mirror of Souls. This is like the longest song they've ever made. And really, it's the longest song I've heard.
Yeah, I'm thrilled.
Yeah. So that being said, let's go.
Let's do it. Good guitar.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like a steel guitar, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Or steel strings. Not steel guitar, not steel strings.
Yeah, I mean.
Listen to the tale I tell, a haunting dream I know so well. When walking home alone one night, my path revealed by candlelight. Ahead I see an open door, with no idea what's in store. I glance inside the door to see a hall of mirrors beckon me. I take up.
So it's so far it's really poetic.
Yeah.
The lyrics are actually really intriguing. I think they're painting a really interesting picture, and that took talent. I like simple rhyming schemes, AB, AB, or AABB. I find that to be the best, and so I actually really am looking forward to this song. I like the intro. It's calm. I probably won't stay calm. But so far the singing is good too. It's on key, it's soft, it's mellow, it fits the mood. And I'm already liking this, A Tale of Love and Shattered Pride.
Yeah.
I think that's a great. That probably is a synopsis of most men.
This song is very poetic, and you'll see as the story progresses what he means by that line, I think.
Yeah, that's huge. That line there, A Tale of Love and Shattered Pride. I'm like, oh, that's, that could be like someone's entire life.
And step inside a tale of love and shattered pride. The door slams shut, I start to run.
This is where it isn't calm anymore. It gets heavy back here. Or in a minute, actually.
I felt that, man. That was good. It wasn't much, but for me, that was nice. It kind of brings me back to, I think, like 90s punk rock is the feeling, like that, sort of like that vibe, or grunge.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's true, though.
It's just,
I hadn't noticed.
It's just
I hadn't thought about that.
It's like that. All right, I'm there. I'm feeling it. I like the build-up. I really like the build-up. I like the double bass coming in. So we didn't see that a whole lot before. Then the double bass comes right in, and it's like telling us, hey, this is not grunge. This is not going to be rock. Folks, we're taking it to the next level. And so you got to get ready for that. And I like that it sort of eased me into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Good setup.
There are definitely some interesting lines in there.
Yeah, I feel like anybody who uses the word replete, they've got my respect. Like, I think that's, if you throw the word replete out there, hey, that's great.
Yeah.
You gotta, and I think that's, I look at them to see myself, to judge my life by someone else. The mirrors within replete. So the mirrors are, and it's, what's kind of nice is that they're explaining what the mirrors are. So you don't have to guess. What are the mirrors? Oh, they're the people, and the people are judging us. Everyone's judging us.
Yeah.
And I think that's timeless. I don't think we ever get past a point in our life where we're worried about people judging us. Maybe the people change. Maybe we don't care as much about what everybody, but I think we live in a time when, like, everybody's worried about being judged online. Yeah. Everybody's scared of that. Say one wrong thing and you're done. Or don't bow down and you're done.
Yeah. But he talks about the fear turning to haughtiness as he sees what, like, other people view him as.
Like, and I don't understand that completely. Like, is he saying that people are being, like, they're giving him, like, they're pumping him up?
How other people perceive him or how he looks. Maybe it's like how he looks on the outside so good and how he views himself as being this very good person.
This is interesting because at this point, honestly, I'm getting musical vibes. I am. A little bit true. Like Aida and like some of these big musicals. Like, this is sounding like less of a song and more of like a ballad, or like a not a ballad, but like, you know, more of like a performance, like a grand. Like,
yeah.
It's like, it's kind of like metal meets opera almost.
This is very much meant to tell a story,
and it's doing a good job.
This is basically like a 22-minute long poem put to music.
Yeah, and I like that the world, like it says, gazing in the mirrors, I behold all the greatest chapters of my story ever told. In the mirrors, the world is turned to gold, so the world becomes the most valuable thing to me, because gold has value.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I hadn't noticed that relation before, that it's also talking about worldliness in that line.
Could be. Yeah, I don't know. But it's interesting. By the way, can you imagine recording this song?
Oh gosh, that would be the longest recording session.
I'd love to hear from the band, and I don't know
Yeah.
if they watch these, but I'd love to hear from them, like how challenging a 22-minute song is to record.
Yeah.
Because like you mess up, man, there goes 22 minutes of your life. You got to go back. If you had to do this like 10 times, that's 220 minutes, man.
Oh gosh.
220 minutes. Think about that for a second. We're talking like 3.5 hours. Easy. Jiminy Christmas. Something like this could take a week to record.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not be the person who accidentally walked in the studio. Hey guys! And you're 19 minutes in, like, ah!
They actually performed this live, which is really incredible.
That's the concert. That's it.
Yeah.
Like you get one song. Sorry, we're done. We did the song. This is as long as like whole sets. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. That sounds like an organ.
Yeah.
So when I say opera, like that's what I'm talking about. This is opera. This has that sort of nature to it. Like Phantom of the Opera almost meets Aida meets. This is super musical, but like the kind of musical a dude would want to go to.
Yeah.
Obviously not that musical.
Yeah, now I got like a bit of chugging in there. Yeah.
Don't they call it chugging?
Kind of like, yeah, like that.
Chug along! Oh, I like that. I'm just guessing here. I think he's wrong.
Yes, you will see.
I think you're going to get through that golden door, and this is going to be a wake-up call. Which, by the way, is a song by Petra. The sleeping giant gets a wake-up call.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, that's what I listened to. No offense, Theocracy. When I was your age, I was listening to Petra. So, but I'm sure, there wasn't a lot of Christian...
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it wasn't easy to find.
They were kind of metal.
Yeah. Yeah, here we got that wake-up call.
I'm loving that ominous music in the background that they've added in. I'm telling you, man, I think when they wrote the song, they were listening to Phantom of the Opera. They were all watching it,
Yeah.
because it just has that flavor. It really does. It's great though. It's fantastic. The Blackest of Night reminds me of and I can't remember the Hebrew word, but the word for it says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death." The shadow of death there is like the blackest black, the darkest dark. It's like super dark, and it kind of reminds me of that. And that's what like the shadow of death is, like this very dark, dark, dark place. So I'm wondering if we're going to be fearing no evil soon because God is with us.
We
We'll
might.
see.
The light of the mirrors has faded away, and today
feeling that.
Yeah.
I feel like we have like so many genres in one song.
The darkness grows with every step. I've been cut it with a knife as the rain keeps coming down. I can't see a thing I've never felt so alone in all my life, but the rain keeps coming down. Caught in the fury of the storm.
I think coming back here, like this was my year. I think in February, and I think a lot of people can just this is deep. This takes a long time in life to. I think what he's talking about is, because life has ups and downs. You have moments where everything's going great and you're getting attention and everybody says, awesome, great, everything's going right. And then you have the moments where things just collapse. I don't expect, and I think people in general don't expect suffering enough. That is how life is. It is full of just suffering. And it's not in like an emo way, like, oh, life is full of suffering. It's what we do. Like more like this is a sinful planet, and sinfulness is in me, and so that sin causes suffering. So that is, and as much as there's sin, there's going to be suffering. That's normal, and there's a lot of sin.
Yeah.
And I think this year, not saying that sin always causes suffering, but in general, all of our suffering comes from the fall. And in this year, when your mom was just like, because she almost died a couple times this year. And I watched her be in pain, severe pain, and you saw that. Just gut-wrenching pain for like 2 months of this year, maybe more, months and months of this year. And I just got to a point where I was just like wondering if God is just going to allow her to be in pain forever. If this is it, you just hurt and then you die. And she's in pain. That's the worst pain for me. There's no worse pain than that. And I felt like this. I felt like, well, this is the way it is. I'll just quit. I'm done. I'll just lay down and die. And that's a real feeling. I felt that. If every day is like this, I'm done. And I think people feel that. So I think this speaks to people. All right, time for the happy time.
Suddenly, a light I see shining in the distance. I make my way toward.
By the way, just so everyone else, I wasn't suicidal or anything, so that wasn't what I'm talking about. I just felt like pulling back and not trying hard and not being responsible, doing the things I needed to do. I never was at the point of like, okay, well, where's the nearest exit? I'm headed out. So.
With my fading hope reborn. As I draw near, the light is clear, though the rain beats its resistance. But I press on and pray this is a shelter from the storm. Advancing now toward the light, I'm quickly moving forward. This hope has given me new strength I thought I'd never know. But I take a step and fall right back, for the ground is gone beneath me. And I behold illuminated in the light's warm glow. A dark chasm of
almost sounds like a record skipping. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but it's very cacophonic, which I think is what they're trying to do, because the music is matching the story. I think this is really the height of music and story, and this is what music is supposed to do, is help tell a story.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of times, instead, the music is the story, and then I'm just left like, it doesn't. I feel like they're not going as they're not hitting the 3-pointer. They're just going for an easy layup, and that's fine. But I love this. This is awesome.
Songs like this give me a chance to actually walk away from it feeling like wanting to praise God and like really, and it gives me something to think about too.
Yeah. I think at this point he's gone through the pride, the suffering, and this, by the way, this happens a lot where people, when life is good, they selfish, they do their own thing, but then the suffering comes, the death, divorce, the instability. You change your position at work, your status change. There's major things that come, and it's like, and then it's like you like it's so hard. And then maybe you see like there's hope, but then it's like, how am I going to get there? The chasm he's talking about.
Yes.
And I think that's that distance between us and God, which is, we can't. There's no way to get across that on our own.
I'm startled to feel a hand on my shoulder. I turn to see a shadow figure standing in the rain, but somehow I'm not afraid of him, even when he speaks my name.
This for me is really reminiscent of those 80s love ballad songs. So I'm thinking like Air Supply. I'm feeling a definite Air Supply vibe here, which is interesting. Okay. I've gone through it's taken me like, it really is like a buffet of music almost in one meal. It's really awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a punch in the face with genres,
Like you said, this is really what's the term used? Kind of like a play, like
musical.
Yeah.
I can tell that he means me no harm just by the peace that I see in his eyes. And even though I've never even seen him before, it's like he's known me all my life. Why are you crying? The stranger asks as I wipe away the tears. I point toward the great abyss, the source of all my fears. I must get across and get to that light, for it represents my only hope tonight. But when I saw the chasm, all that hope was lost. I stood so long in the dark and the rain, that the sight of the light made my heart sing again. But the road's so wide and there's no way across. The stranger smiled and took my hand. He said, "But you are wrong, my friend. You cannot cross the gulf yourself, that's true." He led me down toward the edge and pointed just over the ledge and said, "Behold, I built a bridge for you."
So this is really good. I mean, when you become a Christian, and that's what he's talking about. He's talking about breaking the chasm, and Christ is, you've met Christ, and he said, you know, do you believe in me? If you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart Jesus is Lord, you will be saved. And so this is part of that. He said, yeah, I'm going to cross that bridge. And I don't know if he's crossed it yet or he's making the process, but I think he's about to see the Hall of Mirrors. It ain't so pretty.
Yeah.
And that's really true.
Like
It's like a bridge.
Yeah.
It's funny, he's doing a bridge on a bridge.
That's a good point.
So is there a breakdown in the song?
I don't know if I'd say that exactly, but doesn't have your moment.
It's not me.
So this is interesting because I've always thought that metal and sort of, no offense to the metal crowd, but the music has always kind of struck me sometimes as violent and ugly. And I think I've always thought that this is where metal shines.
Yes.
Because there is goriness to the Christian life.
Yeah.
There is some, and that's sin. And sin can't, and it's talked about in sort of a gory way in the Bible, and we don't romanticize it because gore is not a good thing; it's a bad thing. But it's there, and that's real, and it's actually dealing with the reality that it's ugly. The truth is ugly. My sin, the part of me that's the flesh, is ugly, and it fits with the music. Gonna be interested to see where he runs away to.
We shall see. I don't actually remember this part of the song, so
Interesting.
yeah.
Let's see where his feet carry him. He's not going to be able to get out. And this is interesting because that's what the Hebrews said. That's what the Israelites said. They leave the desert and they say, hey, even slavery to Pharaoh was better than this, what they had before. And I think that it is sometimes we're like, I'd rather be in my sinful life than really deal with the evil that's in me.
That's so true, yeah.
I'd rather just go back and then be blind and hurt and be suffering and have misery.
And have to know that.
Yeah,
that
have
you're
to deal with that
actually
and change
sinful.
And be uncomfortable. Yeah. It's not fun to be disciplined. It's not fun to get. I mean, yeah.
Before I ran away, tell me what I saw in the mirror. That face of sickness and decay. Tell me what I saw in the mirror that left me terrorized. Who was that I saw in the mirror with the lifeless blackened eyes? Was it a demon from the far away? Was it the undead from beyond the grave? Oh, the face that I beheld in the mirror left me paralyzed. Won't you tell me what I saw in the mirror on this night? The light from the mirror you saw from afar. The mirror of soul shows all men as they are.
Like that line, the mirror of soul shows all men as they are. The light from the mirror you saw from afar. That's great. That's really poetic. And you don't even know. The thing about illusions, deceptions, and false realities is you think they're real. You don't even know they're not. And I think this is why, and it really is true, that our life depends on spending time in the Word. And our life depends on meeting with other believers. Because those people, if the other believers are spending time in the world, then they can see. Because God allows them to see. He reveals to them. And they can talk to us, and they can tell us when we're deceived. And without that, we just move forward, really believing that we understand it. And this is good stuff. Theocracy. My hat is off. I don't have a hat, but if I did have a hat, it would be off. So.
I have seen my soul in the mirror, and it has broken me. I have seen myself so much clearer than I had ever seen. Can't you take away all the sickness from my soul and set me free? You can save me, I believe. And then he said, arise, my child, your faith has made you reconciled. Now gaze into the mirror once again.
I remember accepting Christ. I remember that moment. And it's happened throughout my lifetime, where you get in the Word and you have a worship time and God just reveals to you. And you realize, you say, I need you. This year I needed God so much. And I had a quiet time out of Leviticus, and I remember that, and it was like God saying, okay, you've hurt. That's okay, but there's work to be done. You had your season of hurt. We have to move forward in ministry, and it really was to be constantly reconciled. I'm glad you have a band like Theocracy, and I'm glad that they put out this work, and that they are doing so much more than making music. They're sharing the gospel. This is the gospel. This is sharing the good news, and this is the most valuable thing that people can do, because people need this. They're desperate. They're in the storm. They don't even know it fully. So that's the crazy thing is like, or they're in the hall mirrors, the original, the first one. And they think everything's fine, but a storm's coming. And they're gonna need something.
They can't cross that chasm on their own.
No, and so Theocracy makes this music that appeals to people and helps them and moves them forward, and that's fantastic, because a lot of metal is about the storm. Rap, hip-hop, some of that stuff, that's the Hall of Mirrors. I'm amazing, I got everything. But a lot of metal is like, life sucks, and then you die. Like, that's a lot of it. Or some metal is like, I'm amazing, I'm going to rip through this world, and it's like, so, Hall of Mirrors again, but it's good to have something that talks about the bridge.
We walked together through the door, and I looked in the glass once more, but the only one reflected back was him. Somehow the only one the mirror saw was him. Gazing in the mirror of my soul, staring at the man who took my place and made me whole. In the mirror of my
I like how they include the verses. Whoever made this lyric video.
And I think I was thinking of another verse. I think it's Galatians 2:20. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. In this life which I now live by faith, this life that I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself up for me. Like, that is like, I'm dead. No longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. And then it's safe. So this is the Christian message, and it is humbling.
Yeah.
We find ourselves, and this is like, it sounds like something out of like the Matrix or some weird movie, but we find ourselves in losing ourselves. And that's really close to a biblical verse, actually. It's like, and I think this is, as we look, humility isn't looking down on yourself. It's looking up to God.
So it's neither being in the Hall of Mirrors nor the storm.
Right.
It's being,
That's right. And so I think sometimes people think being humble is like, oh, you got to pity yourself, or you have like something, there's sort of this weird thing about being humble, like, oh, I'm not that good. But anytime I'm focused on me, it's not humility. Humility is being focused on God so much that
we don't see ourselves as this would be.
Exactly. That's right. And instead, we're so focused on Christ. And what's interesting is, as we focus on Christ, as we focus on God, we actually begin to see our true selves. And it is by losing ourselves that we begin to perceive ourselves. And we find out who we actually are, and we can be us. Because Christianity is not a religion where the person, like, in Hindu, I might be wrong on this, but in a lot of these religions, especially Eastern religions, you lose yourself in the whole of something else. Whether that's becoming part of some, like, you meshing into the universe, and you become part of this other thing, and you have oneness with the universe, and you lose yourself in that. That isn't Christianity. In Christianity, we're individuals, created individually. We are special and important. and we find ourselves, the one God really created us to be, and we never lose who we are. We find it. It's concealed by sin and revealed by Him. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful song. Absolutely wonderful song.
This is one of those songs that for me, it really convicts me. It's kind of like, I don't know if this is a weird analogy, but reading through the Lord's Prayer, because there's a part where you're praising God, where you're asking Him for help, and at the same time where you're confessing.
Yeah.
So this is like all of that. I leave, feeling like I want to praise God, but also...
I think it's the first time that I've thought of what could be called metal. This was sort of metal. I guess it was metal.
Yeah.
As worship music. And this is good. They're really good. The story's king. I taught some film classes, and that's it. The story's king. Nothing is more important than the story. I think that bands forget that music is dressing on the story, and Theocracy doesn't. They got the greatest story ever told.
Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe, and let me know what you thought of this song, and let me know your thoughts on our thoughts on this song in the comments down below. And with that being said, thanks for watching.